Overnight, in a race that could decide control of the Senate, Alaska primary voters advancing incumbent Republican Senator Dan Sullivan and Democratic challenger Mary Peltola to the November ballot. Sullivan rallying supporters overnight.
We are going to win for Alaska in November, and we are going to win for the great country, the United States of America that we love. Thank you again, everybody. We are on to the general election.
And Peltola, a former Democratic congresswoman, promising to be an independent voice in the Senate. But Alaska allows for 4 candidates, regardless of party, to advance to the general election ballot. And this morning, it's unclear if that will include Dan J. Sullivan, a candidate with virtually the same name as the senator. ABC News has learned the Justice Department issued a series of subpoenas to those tied to Dan J. Sullivan's campaign, probing whether he's part of a conspiracy to purposefully confuse voters, something Sullivan has strongly denied. In a plea to Republicans, President Trump posting, "Alaska, be careful. Vote for the real Dan Sullivan." Meantime, in Florida, the Democratic Party's deep divisions on full display. Self-declared Democratic Socialist and State Representative Angie Nixon beating Alexander Vindman in the primary to take on Republican Senator Ashley Moody, expected to be an uphill battle for Democrats this fall. Vindman was backed by establishment party leaders, and his campaign raised $16 million. None of it was enough to beat Nixon, who joined the DSA in the middle of her campaign.
We, the hard-working, everyday people of Florida, sent a shockwave to the Washington, D.C. establishment.
But far-left challengers coming up short elsewhere on the ballot, unable to unseat Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz and veteran Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And in the race to replace the late South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, his sister, the current Senator Darlene Graham, and Congressman Ralph Norman squaring off in their final debate before a primary runoff next week. Graham giving a stunning answer for a sitting senator when asked about national security.
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, but I do support the military.
Back to Florida, incumbent Republican Congressman Corey Mills, he's embattled, lost his primary last night. Despite an endorsement from President Trump, Mills is facing a Department of Justice investigation, sources tell ABC News, and a House Ethics Committee probe. He's denied any wrongdoing, Robin.
And Jay, speaking of the president, ABC News has learned that President Trump voted by mail in the Florida primary.
That's right, Robin. Despite railing against the practice, President Trump voted by mail in yesterday's primaries. It's the second time this year he's done so. Responding, the White House says that President Trump has advocated for stricter guardrails on mail-in voting, Robin.
All right. Our thanks to you, Jay.